Yeah, it's hard to believe that you came up with such films in just 48 hours. So wonderful job, everyone. So, like I said earlier, we'd like to now open up the floor for some Q&A session. And I know, I think a lot of people are here for their films, but if I could perhaps have like maximum 2 to 3 people per film come up here for a Q&A session, that would be great. And then we'll have a floating mic for the audience members as well. All right, so could we please have whoever's in attendance for today's films, please come on up. Don't be shy, this is your chance. Let's have everyone move up closer to the audience. It just looks way better if you're closer to the audience. Yep, come on up, even closer, guys. Yep, thank you. All right, so we're gonna have to share the mic. Great, a lot of people are in attendance. Thank you so much. And if you could share sort of by team, if one person could kind of speak on behalf of the team per question, that would be wonderful. We don't want this, to be like lagging either. So we'll try to keep it, quick and fun. So per team, if you guys could please say which film you were part of and what role each person up here played. Let's start there. Okay, so sort of take turns. Yeah, why don't we do that? Okay. Yep, thank you. Can we get the slides away? I think yeah. And then let's move up a little closer. Thank you.
Hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my name's Brandon. This is Melanie. We did By a Thread. That's it, just the name. Yeah. So yeah, we did By a Thread.
Hi, my name is Pranay, and I pretty much did everything to Love You Mom film. And I just got 2 random strangers outside, and then yeah, I did everything with it. Thank you.
My name is Richard.
Mitsu.
And we did Love Thy Neighbor.
Hi, I'm Joe. This is Ryan. Justin. We did Crying Over Milk. He was the main actor, editor, writers.
Hi, my name's James, and I was Chris Spalding on Muster Point. And don't tell my boss I used his office.
Hi, my name is Anthony. This is Adriana and Devki, and we directed, co-produced, and starred in Delulu.
Hello, my name is Zarel. We are part of, this is Nick, and we're part of Watchful Gaze. I edited and he directed, and the rest of the cast is like right there.
All right, great. So per team, what's going to happen is I'm going to ask a general question for every team to answer, and then I'm going to.
So sorry, we have one more group.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't really see. So can we do a little like arch?
Yeah, sorry about that.
And come on up. Thank you. Sorry about that. All right, go ahead.
So yeah, I'm Akanksha Kadam, this is Divyesh, and this is Vignesh. So we did Better Half together.
Thank you. Am I missing anyone?
That's
No?
all.
All right, come to the light though. You guys are like kind of like in the darkness. So come to the light. Yes, thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be asking a general question for everyone. But again, if one person could kind of speak on behalf of the team, that'd be great. And then I'm going to invite Jay, our programmer, to ask a specific question per film. Okay? So the general question is, first of all, it's so great to see that so many people got involved with the 48-hour challenge, right? How did you find out about the challenge, and what was it like for you to sort of register, go through the process? Did you brainstorm during the 48 hours? Just kind of tell us what sort of happened, maybe pre or during the 48 hours. All right, I'll kind of leave it up to you to answer that. All right, let's start.
Okay. So I found out about the film festival on Instagram. I guess it's just the algorithm of checking out a lot of film stuff. And then as far as the project, I knew it was on the weekend. So I actually work at City News, and we have a bit of a break between the 6th and the 11th. So I just asked pretty much whoever was in the newsroom if they wanted to be a part of it, and that's kind of how we put the film together, and then Melanie's my friend. She acts, so thankfully she came in. And then as far as getting it together, just because like we're all working, me and Melanie did a lot of the writing together, and then it was pretty much the day of. We kind of figured out like how we wanted the scenes to go and all that other kind of stuff, and then yeah, it was just a lot of just working on the go. I think the biggest thing for us, especially, and it kind of sucks because you brought the gentleman in to kind of tell us not to go overboard, and I think that's what we tried to do. We tried to do way too much, but then I think towards the end we kind of like reeled it in and were able to get it done. I think we handed it in at 8:53.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, it really made me panic because it was like submitting last minute, right? But it was really great because like Brendan and the other people also did like different parts of the movie. Like we had like somebody doing the camera, the editing. Brendan did the directing, and I'm very proud of him. And yeah, we just put it all together, and I was like, we just like sent me the call sheet. Like on Friday we did the writing. And then send me the goal sheet for like Saturday and Sunday, so that was great.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, well, I found this on Facebook, and so I actually wanted a team. This is my first time coming to the festival, and this is my first time making a short film. And I don't know, I'm capable of I'm capable of doing an edit. I never knew that I can make a film. So, but this is my first challenge, and it might be a 48-hour challenge from you, but I never had a team before, and I don't have my actors with me. I just got 2 random strangers from Instagram, and they're only active for 5 to 6 hours, and that's how I made it. And yeah, that's it.
It's always great to hear, right?
Yeah.
That, yeah, people with absolutely no experience to take part in something like
I mean,
this.
it just showed me that I'm capable of making a short film
Exactly.
in 2 days.
Well, congratulations. Yeah, that's amazing.
Misu and I found out about this through Instagram, same thing, algorithm maybe, and forwarded over to Misu and checked our availability. We were ready for it, and we did it. And we kind of came up with the idea the day of the first day. It was the Friday there, over some poutine. We came up with some ideas, and then we shot it on the one Saturday, and then edited on the Sunday.
Here we go. Yep, go ahead, next team.
So we found out about this over Facebook as well. Anyone here probably remembers we came in a little over-prepared. We had a whole suitcase full of props with us, and many of which we didn't even know if we could use, but figured better safe than sorry coming out of town. So we spent the entire first night writing the thing. I basically pulled an all-nighter on that, and then second day we shot it, and the third day we just slept on a rotating schedule till it was done. So barely got any sleep that whole 48 hours.
I had an idea of sitting in that office with a big scope, big concept in a little office, and had to pare it down. I saw the challenge on Facebook, and it seemed great way to use the medium. And I'm underpaid, so I'm going to make sure I'm going to make use of my time in the office. The boss doesn't know, and it was a lot of fun. I did it. Everyone else did it pretty shotgun style, Saturday, Sunday, no sleep. But it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it.
So I found out about the challenge on Instagram as well. Thank you, Meta. And Adrienne and I did the 48-hour film challenge in Toronto that happened this past fall. So I was like, you know what, let's do it again and see how we do it this time. Because we had a lot of fun doing that challenge, and it was like, let's do it again. And since we have that experience, we're like, let's get into it. So I sent it to her, and then our friend Mal, who was our script supervisor, who is not here right now, but she'll be here later today. She is a coworker of mine. I asked her to join as well. And yeah, we just, everything, they just fell together, right when the challenge started. I remember Adriana looked right at me. She's like, okay, let's make a movie about a cat that gets killed and a girl who's delusional and tries manifesting to make the cat come back to life. And I was like, yes, let's do it. And then I went home that night, wrote out the script, and then we had everyone come over. And then we were missing an actor, but luckily Mel got us together with Devki. And then we all got together. We bonded for the first in the morning on Saturday. And then we spent the whole day shooting. It was a lot of fun. We did not feel any pressure at all. And then Adriana and I over Zoom were editing together, and Adriana did a really good job with the editing process. And yeah, we got it in like 3 hours before the deadline, which was really, really impressive. So I'm really proud of our team.
Very good, very good. All right, next team.
Hi, so I did the Watchful Gaze for this film, and the way I found out about this film was through Instagram, just like everyone else. And I'm a filmmaker in general, so I thought this was a challenge to do with a smartphone. And seeing that my cousins were also in love with film as I am, I was like, this would be fun to make with them instead of my other filmmakers. So I asked them to come on board, and then we just did everything. We spent every single second in Georgetown, and we literally slept in the editing cavern for like who knows how long. Slept on the dirty floors. Everyone got sick the next day. And it was just an experience. We wrote the whole thing in one night, and we shot some things that night, but then we ended up shooting everything else the next morning, and it just got into place. Everything went well. So.
Very cool. Congratulations. Yep.
Thank you.
So hi again. So we found out about this on Facebook. Actually, one of our friends found out about it who is not currently here. And he just registered us and we did not know about it. So yeah, and then he called us, we have to do this, so we did it. And on the day, like on Friday when we got the theme, we had like 5 scripts. And it was so difficult for us to choose. So we chose like the easiest one to do, and you know, with only one actor. And by the end of the day, like end of the Sunday, yeah. So I think we were stuck on the audio, so in like last half an hour or something, we actually found somebody to do it, and it was not as we wanted it, so it was all chaotic, and then again, we submitted at like 8:56,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I know, it was crazy. But it was fun,
Very
challenging.
Well, I think the takeaway is that it was stressful, but it was worth it, right? Like you guys all smiling and kind of thinking about it.
Right.
So, yeah, good. Glad it worked out. One of the greatest thing about the 48-hour challenge here is that all the films are based in Toronto, right? Like essentially GTA. So it's really nice to be able to see so many films so close to where we are, because you know on the big screen we don't really get to celebrate this beautiful city. So thank you all. And at this time, I'd like to invite Jay. And Jay, if you could limit your question per team. I know you have got a lot of questions, but we also need a little break before the evening. So all right, okay, go ahead.
My name is Jay. I'm the lead programmer for TSFF. So yeah, first of all, I think it's just great to know that our outreach on Facebook and Instagram is obviously working. So yeah, I guess I might just throw it out to you to talk about maybe the most challenging thing was diving into the 48-hour film challenge. We'll start with Via Thread.
Yeah, I think the most challenging, I think, was trying to do too much. I think for us, just because the majority of the people on our team, so I've done 2 short films, but everyone else, we're just all, we're all journalists. So I think we came in with a little bit of arrogance because we kind of do this every day. We get it, and they give us an idea, we have to have it done for 6. So I think we came in thinking this is going to be easy peasy, and then we had all these ideas, we're trying to do all these things, and it's just like, it started at, we were like, it's 6, and now it's 10, and now it's midnight, it's like, wait, where did all the time go? So I think that was probably the most challenging. I think the other thing for me, so the other 2 projects that I've done, I was a writer-producer, so this is the first, I've been wanting to try directing, and I thought this would be a good first step. So I think that was also a bit of a challenge because I've never done anything like that. Like I didn't go to film school, a journalist, so speaking to people, getting them to kind of do what is in your mind, that was a bit of a challenge, but it was a lot of fun, and work with Melanie and Ike and Jeremiah, they're not here. They were great. Ike and Jeremiah, they've never acted before, and they were open and willing to kind of take the challenge on and trust how I was directing them. So yeah, so it was a fun process. I think that was the most challenging part, though, was just trying to do way too much. And if definitely we're going to do something again, it will be scaled back.
So, well, in my case, everything is a challenge because I've never did anything before, and this is my first time doing everything. I did select some music, I did editing, I did whatnot, everything except that. So, and for me, one of the toughest things is to get actors, and I don't know who can act because I have to just. I just posted something in Instagram and two people just said, hey, I'm just interested. I never did audition. I never auditioned them. They just came and then they said, okay, I want to act. I said, okay, I have a. And then when they said the theme is relations, and I was inspired with my a pointer that was given by my mom. She said, like I'm an IT guy actually, so I work a lot. So I avoid a lot of calls, especially from my mom and other friends. And then whenever they gave the theme relations, the first point that struck me was that mom emotion. And then I just wanted to make it with. I had a different idea before, but I didn't have much actors, like some capable actors. But yeah, and those actors were only 4 hours active or 5 hours active. And then I have to wrap everything in 5 hours, and then I have to do post-production. So that's the most challenging thing.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Most challenging thing, I feel like filmmaking in general is just challenging, and Richie and I have been filmmaking for a while now, so I think everything's just been kind of challenging. Nothing really stood out, at least for me. I feel like probably picking out the music probably was the hardest thing, because we have to kind of scour the internet and try to look for something that's not licensed, I guess. Yeah, so I think it's mostly just kind of like the editing and so I guess also lack of sleep as well. We came up with the idea on Friday night, and then Richie did a lot of the script writing. We had a lot of the outline done, and I did the shot list because we kind of had an idea of how it's going to go. And then early in the morning, we'd wake up, and he would kind of finish the script and then send it over, and I would just work on the shot list and the storyboard for 2 hours while he's commuting to Toronto, to my place essentially. So yeah, I think just kind of lack of sleep and just overall difficulty, I would say. Well, for us, I'd say the first big challenge we faced was in the brainstorming part of it. The three of us were coming up with as many ideas as we could possibly think of in the first couple hours, and when there's three minds who are all pretty passionate about their ideas going batting off of each other, it gets a little bit messy. So narrowing it down in the first place was pretty tough. Second biggest challenge was the editing stage. We spent 12 hours on the audio just alone. We spent so much time on editing, he forgot what words meant. Yeah, he was pretty incoherent by the end. So much to do there.
Sorry, I think just. Thanks, guys. Sorry, I think the only thing for me was I should have worked with other people, and as you can tell, I did all that myself. That was, I thought, kind of the challenge, but selfish person that I am, I thought, oh yeah, I can do that. It was a lot of fun though, and it's a good challenge to have. But I think if I had my brothers again, get maybe a few people to help you and buy them a case of beer, that's payment or maybe more money. But it forces you to do that, and then of course the editing part. I can vouch for these guys here; they did sleep in the editing room, so they worked much harder than me.
I think our biggest challenge for us was the props, because the morning of we were looking for a stuffed cat still, and we couldn't find the cat, and our script supervisor was at Walmart earlier that day trying to get snacks, and she's like, let's go see if there's cats in the toy section. And oddly enough, there were no cats. So either kids don't like cats anymore, or they do love them and just completely sold out. But luckily, Adriana's sister still had a stuffed cat, and so we managed to get the cat that was in our film. And also the candles, the damn candles kept burning out from the wind. So we took multiple takes trying to get the candles not to burn out. And then of course, another challenge we had was, of course, that day, my neighbors decided to have a backyard party, and so there was music blasting in my backyard. So I'm like, oh, this is fun. And so we had a bit of a challenge trying to like get rid of that background music. But yeah, that was mainly our biggest challenges from shooting.
It was more of a hurdle. Our amazing writer, like on the seat, mentioned this. It was like when we sat down and thought of our story, it sounded very good in our head. But then once we got into the editing room and finished our assembly edit, we were like, oh, this is not what we expected to look like. It was way worse, and I remember being like, this is so, I swear. I'm gonna give the mic to Arl to get into post-production because I feel like that's where a lot of the challenges went.
Yeah, so most of us haven't made films or done any of this stuff before, so majority of our group is very new to this. So what was the biggest challenge in post-production was, I would say, because we were all very new, we didn't know that, oh, we should take more shots, have more angles. So like when it came down to editing, it came, like obviously our film was pretty short, but yeah, it was like, the lack of just made it kind of more difficult for us. And then, yeah, and then also staying, like, we were literally up for like 48 hours, and we were all just like on Sunday, we were all like basically falling asleep in the editing room at George Brown, and it was kind of funny. But yeah, like trying to stay up, and like also like there were some sounds I just went into GarageBand and we started playing around in GarageBand to try and make some sounds that we could use. And yeah, it was a big, yeah, it was a hurdle, and but we also did have a great time at the same time. So yeah.
So I think we had a lot of challenges, but I think one of the biggest challenge that we had was where we went to a concert. It was a free concert. And then our director had a particular shot in his mind, and he wanted that. So we had to take our actor from like the behind the crowd to front of the crowd. And we tried so hard, but we couldn't get that shot because we had one of our friends working like in the camera team in the concert. We did not get that shot, but it was so much fun to do that because it was, I mean, getting into the crowd was so chaotic, and all of us are from Mumbai. So we have this habit of traveling in local trains, but I think we failed. But it was fun. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I had a question for Watchful Gaze. I thought that the lack of dialogue sort of added to the tone, so I just wondered where in the process that decision was made to have no dialogue.
When we sat down and made our story, we didn't even think about dialogue at all. Originally, our writer wanted like something sounding good in our head. It's just that like a short film made on a smartphone where we would experiment with sounds, Foley and stuff like that. We just wanted to tell a very short, impactful story without dialogue, and I think it kind of achieved the goal. But yeah, we just wanted to do something without dialogue, and it also adds to the eeriness of the film overall, because we were trying to go for that creepy, kind of like, oh, she's getting stalked kind of thing, and we didn't want it to be tampered with dialogue that was on the nose, like, oh, I'm watching you, oh, I'm looking at you. We just wanted the film to speak for itself through sound and the atmosphere that kind of created.
Yeah, it definitely added to it for sure.
Thank you.
So for Delulu, killing a cat off at the beginning was definitely a bold choice, but I think you turned it around, and I thought that the comic timing between the leads was very good. So did you guys ever work together before?
Well, Adrian and I have. We went to university together, studying film at Laurier. So we did some projects together. Devki and the rest of our team, we met the weekend of, and she, like I mentioned, she's friends with our script supervisor. And we were missing an actor. I'm like, okay, we need 2 actors, because I did ask another friend of mine to join, but unfortunately he was busy. And I'm like, okay, we definitely need a second actor to help out. And luckily Mel was like, I know someone, I'll give you her contact info, and then we texted, and then we met that Saturday morning. We drank some coffee and tea at Balzac's, and we did some bonding that morning, and yeah, and we got along really well, luckily.
Excellent. And Crying Over Milk, I thought it flowed really well, and it kind of felt like a play to me. So you said that you guys spent some time writing it, but was any of it improv? Because it seemed really natural.
No, it was all written by us just that first night. Try to have an ear for natural dialogue if I can. Best way I think to do that is to read the script aloud before, just do a table read, see if it sounds natural as you're saying it, and if not, make some tweaks. So.
All right. And Love Thy Neighbor, you had said that you guys have been working together for a while. Because you guys worked really well together as well. How long have you guys been working together? Like, when did you meet and collaborate for the first time?
We met probably about 8 years ago. I think it was 2014, 2015 or something like that. And at the time I was going to U of T, and Richie wasn't going to U of T. I think he's a little bit older, but he and I met at this like a U of T Film Festival general jury kind of a thing, where just anyone can kind of come in and watch it and kind of rate. It's almost like the Audience Choice Award kind of a thing. We met there, and I wanted to make a film, and so we actually made a smartphone film at the time. He was the DP for that, and I was directing. And then right after that, he also came up with an idea, and so I DP'd and he directed. Went back and forth for a couple of years, a couple of projects, and then we both kind of went on separate ways. I went towards more commercial, and then he went into ADing for different productions. And then more recently, we both kind of thought, oh, we got to get back into directing narratives. And so since I think March, we've been kind of writing and shooting a lot of stuff on our smartphones, essentially. And then this thing came up, and we were like, oh, this is perfect. Let's just do one right now. And so, yeah, we just had fun. We're also really good friends, so yeah.
Excellent. By a thread, I was going to ask you about whether the location of the idea came first, but I guess since you guys work in that location, that kind of answers my question. So at this point, I think I'll just turn it over to the audience and see if there are any questions to be had from any of you. Sure, at the front.
I have a question for Love Thy Neighbor. I wonder if you were inspired by Norman McLaren's Neighbors?
We were, absolutely. So Richie told me, hey, you know, there's this one short film from, I think it was on National Film Board. And I watched that, I think, about 4 years ago, and they showed me, it's like, oh, I know this one is great. And so we kind of, started off that. And for people who doesn't know that short film, it's almost like stop motion, but it's all shot on film, I believe. And I think it's from the 1950s or something like that. And it's about 2 neighbors, but everything's kind of built, essentially, in this kind of a miniature, almost like a miniature, but not really small. And they're fighting over like flour and fence. And it's a really interesting short. You guys should definitely check it out. It's available online. So yeah, but yes, it was inspired by that. Yes.
Wonderful. I love your rendition.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? All right. So yeah, I see from we have a range of people who have been making shorts for many years, and also people who are just starting out. So from this experience, I would just ask you what you plan to do next. Oh, it's at the end, yes.
Okay. Yeah, what I plan to do next. I have a couple of shorts and a feature that I'm working on. I've applied to a bunch of grants, so I guess we'll hear back in August if I get them or not. Yeah, other than that, just I think one thing I didn't get the opportunity to stay at George Brown with everyone because I was working, but I think when I was there, just being in the room with other filmmakers, it did kind of inspire me. So I've been I joined like a bunch of Facebook groups and yeah, just kind of popping in on different productions. suggestions, like if they need help, which has been great. But yeah, right now, I have 2 shorts that are kind of in the works and just waiting. Yeah, if the grants don't go, thankfully I have a film that got on CBC Gem, so I got a little bit of funds from that. So if the grants don't go well, I'll use some of that money for one of the shorts. But yeah, definitely in August, September, we'll be in production with some stuff.
Terrific. So I recently wrote Zilla, and the pre-production done, and the shooting is in progress. We just stopped like for a few weeks, but I'm gonna start it again, and then actually maybe next month I'll be releasing.
Yeah, just keep writing, keep shooting. Rich and I kind of made a bit of a, I guess, it's like a handshake, I guess, that we would just keep making films. And so he's making a lot of stuff on his smartphone, and I recently bought a Blackmagic pocket camera, so shooting on that. Let's keep sharpening our blades. You know?
Well, our team here, we made a short film earlier this year called A Blue Star Apart, which we're trying to get into film festivals for this fall, so be on the lookout for that. Wish us luck.
I have to go back to work. But I always got a few things in the can and scribbling away, so hopefully it'll be more, and I'd like to shoot more and maybe enter another
Contest like this.
Well, for me, I have a short film that's going to be starting its festival run soon called Contact that I produced, and I'm also part of the WIFT mentor-mentee program, so I have a couple scripts I'm working on with my mentor right now that I'm hoping to get funding for.
I have 2. I guess for me, I'm currently going to be volunteering at the Vaughan International Film Festival, which is this coming week. So if you guys want to check that out, make your way to Vaughan, and maybe I'll see you there. I'll be working at TIFF, I think, this year too, come September. I'm still writing and acting on the side. I'm currently writing a feature and maybe another short film, maybe, we'll see. And then doing some acting here and there, and hopefully get signed to an agency soon. We're hoping, we're manifesting, we're being delulu about it. So yeah.
I'm currently working on 2 short films right now. One is I'm directing and writing, and it's in pre-production, and it's starting its fundraising soon, so I have to guys look out for that. And I'm also producing one with 2 close cinematographers of mine in the program. And our team in general, we hope to enter this contest again next year. If you guys continue it. Yeah, that's it.
So I think all of us together have a documentary that we are currently in pre-production. We are still developing the project on TTC. So we're hoping to start filming in this fall. So we're excited about that. And personally, I think some of us are working in post-production, and we are also working on CFC gigs. So yeah, that's all about us.
All right, lots of things to look forward to in the coming days. So yeah, everybody give another round of applause to all of our filmmakers here for a job well done. And I'll hand it back to Jen. Thank you.